Hello, welcome back to another week of Walt's Weekly Updates. How's everybody doing out there? I hope you had an amazing week. And there is so much to cover, but let's go in on just a couple things here. Today is Wednesday, June 17th, and the Fed had their meeting today, and they chose to hold interest rates steady. No increases, no cuts. Now, that's kind of what we expected. But the biggest change to that is now they are indicating that because inflation is hanging in there, it's sticky, it's not going down, we're just getting worse, that we're looking at a possible rate increase now sometime this year. So rather than predicting a rate decrease, we could see a rate increase. So that is not good. The stock market reacted, pulled back on some of the gains today. But, it is what it is. We roll with it. That's just the way things go. There's also a lot of things in play this week that could potentially affect those future decisions and affect rates directly right now, specifically affecting the Treasury yield, because that's what most directly impacts mortgage rates. So we watch that carefully. So that's important. Let's keep an eye on that. The next thing I really wanted to hit on is just to throw this out there, because I think we're going to see some swings in the housing market when the time comes. Right now we are definitely in a buyer's market, and it's fairly soft right now, but we are going to see that change. It will definitely change. Historically, if you look at the peaks and valleys, it's always goes from one extreme to the other, and it will change. So we will get into a better market at some point. I think that we're going to see some changes in the way the housing market actually is and what becomes more desirable or not. First of all, it looks like Congress is going to pass the Affordable Housing Act, which will limit the institutional buyers a little bit, not totally, but there's more things to that affordable, the Affordable Housing Act. And so if that actually goes into effect, we want to dig into that and read a little bit more, make sure we understand clearly what that's going to impact, because it is going to decrease some of the red tape for builders, stuff like that. So, but more importantly than that right now is there's been a couple of reports come out recently, just within the last week, that I've really dug into, and I'm extracting data from those, and I'm trying to input this data into my own little chart to see where we're going. But one of the major takeaways is that housing with next-gen living situation spaces are coming up in demand, and I really believe this is where it's going, right? It's not just the economy and the fact that it's really a stretch to live right now and afford everything for a lot of people, and they're moving in family and relatives. It also has to do with the generational thing. Baby boomers are aging, and their children are taking them in. And I'm already seeing it. I'm helping two clients right now that are in the process of wanting to purchase properties with next-gen living, whether that be a casita, an accessory dwelling unit, a den or an office that maybe, or a fourth or fifth bedroom that has its own, bath attached, things like that are suitable for having, the mother-in-law, the father-in-law, the mom, the dad, whoever in the house, and, continuing to have multi-generations of family living together on one property. It's not a small swing. These reports are showing that it's definitely picking up in demand. There's another important thing we can actually get into later, because I don't want to make this too long, but where the money is, who's making these buying decisions and who has the buying power. But I think it's important to know, as an investor, even if looking for properties right now, I think looking for places that have these situations, even if you don't need one yourself, say you're looking for a primary residence or an investment property, getting a hold of these places that have this kind of living situation, I think is going to be very important for resale value and overall sellability. I also think there's going to be an opportunity out there for any of you builders or developers out there to start looking at these, adding these ADUs on to people's houses and property. Not only for the next gen, some people want to rent them out. There's red tape here in Nevada that you got to jump through some hoops to have an actual rental. I believe California, correct me if I'm wrong, it's a little easier. But we have a little bit of minutia to get through to do that. But anyway, regardless, I think we're seeing these changes, and always it's very important to me that we stay on the pulse of this stuff, because my what I consider, I love helping people with affordable housing, but I love working with my investors too, and I love making sure that when purchasing real estate, whether it be for primary or investment purposes, that I can assist you in the best way possible in making the right and smartest move financially. So we'll get into more of that. I'm really going to continue working on extracting this information that, and maybe at some point in a newsletter or two down the road, I can get you out some information that you can actually look and see where we're going with this stuff with some numbers attached. But anyway, that's what I wanted to cover today, because I think it's very important. Still lots of fun stuff going on here in Vegas. Very hot, but I'm okay right now. I don't usually get sick of the heat till it drags on. When it gets to be about September and October and it's still over 105, 110, then I get a little bit tired of it. But right now, I'm okay. I'm enjoying it. I'm being out in the heat. Not really bothering me too much. So everyone have an amazing week, and cheers to you all.